next guest speaker is not only Hanover Park High School's 2014 Teacher of the Year and educator here for almost 20 years, she is that much older than me, but she's also a woman who never takes no for an answer, and I'm not just talking about her battle with breast cancer. She exhibits excellence with all of her being. She teaches those around her how to be the most best mother, friend, teacher, and advisor. It is with my whole heart that I introduce one of my colleagues and forever friends, Nadine Siciliano.
Thank you, Andrea, and thank you all for coming. Numbers don't lie. According to the American Cancer Society, there are 3.1 million breast cancer survivors living in the United States, but no two survivor experiences are alike. I am one of those survivors, but while I was the one diagnosed with breast cancer, it affected everyone in my life. It filled them with panic, uncertainty, sadness, and anger. It made us all stop and ask, what is important? What matters most? How can I help? By the way, in class we call those essential questions. I would like to show you how many people were directly or indirectly affected by my diagnosis and give you the answers to these questions. Small acts of kindness grow when the sentiment is genuine. Each card represents the power of love and hope. That is what is important. That is what matters. That is how people help me. As you can see, I saved every card. With these cards came flowers, prayers, visits, and of course food. You know Italians equate food with love. And the abundance of food that was brought to my home was an overwhelming expression of love, not only for me, but also for my family. We were in this together. The minute you walk into my classroom, you can't miss the poster that states, "Failure is not an option." This famous quote comes from one of my favorite movies, Apollo 13. It is the spirit of action that resonated with me. Now faced with uncertainty, I reassessed the definition of this word. Not knowing what the outcome would be, I chose to go on the offensive as opposed to the defensive. That tenacious quality, the refusal to back down, is a part of who I am, and as long as I fought, I was not a failure. I looked to what I knew best, the written word. As a graduate student at Drew University, I signed up for the course, Writing to Heal. Writing was a release. I kept a daily journal, wrote and answered letters to many people I was angry with and disappointed in, and also to the people who were constants in my life. I needed to focus on the positive. This cathartic exercise allowed me to navigate my way through my emotions. I needed this because there were many ups and downs that lie ahead. The day I got my test results was an up and down day. The good news came first. My surgeon got clear margins, no cancer cells present. And then, in a very calm voice, she informed me that there was lymph node involvement and I would need to undergo 16 rounds of chemotherapy and possibly another surgery. That was the down that devastated me. I really didn't give that scenario a thought, but now I couldn't ignore it. It took me time to accept this new reality, and when I shared this with my family and friends, it became their reality too. For me, there was no option. I decided to embrace chemotherapy and not be afraid of it. I wanted it to do its job, and I was ready to accept the side effects. Here's where the real excellence comes in. Chemo would change my life, but instead of wasting time looking back, my family and I looked ahead. There was work to do. My husband Peter and my children, Lisa, Michael, and Amanda, took care of everything from laundry to shopping to cleaning, you name it, they had it covered. I was to focus on getting well. That was my job. When I met with the surgeon again, she spoke frankly. Because of the size of the tumor and the involvement of the lymph nodes, she stated I was stage 3. I looked at her and said, no, She gave me a quizzical look, and I continued, I did everything right. I went to my annual exams. The tumor was there last year. Someone missed it. I could not change the past, but I refused to have that number attached to my name for the rest of my life. I said to her, you need to change it. Our brief time together was enough for her to see that I was quite serious, and she did change it to stage 2B. Did that adjustment really matter? To me it did. My doctor listened to me and understood I was more than a number. The fact that she listened is a sign of excellence. Time to go on the offensive. Besides medicine, I understood the power of positive thinking and welcomed alternative methods of wellness. Acupressure treatments, Reiki, audio tapes, meditation, an organic diet, and prayer. I now had all my bases covered, and with these tools in mind, I prepared my chemo survival kit. I chose green as my healing color and filled my Star Wars bag. Yes, the Force was with me. I had a green blanket, green sweater, socks, a beautiful scarf with shades of green, a green bracelet, and 2 sets of blessed rosary beads. Never once did I blame God. He was not responsible for my cancer, but with him, I found the strength to fight. I also turned to my friends, especially Marge and Jen, who were survivors, for their support. One common thread in their advice was to adjust my priorities. I had to come first, and I understood that. People were well-meaning when they suggested I take the year off, but I knew work and being with my students was strong medicine. I love to teach, and I love Hamlet. And I needed to get creative with how this was going to happen. With the help of my wonderful students and technology, I could teach them from the infusion center, my couch, basically anywhere. I would phone in, and they would put me on speakerphone. Together, we would conduct class. Each time we did this, the results were magical. The fact that my students were responsible for making every moment count proved to me how dedicated they were to their studies and maintaining a state of normalcy for me. That should come as no surprise. We have great students here at HP. As I walked through the halls, so many students, not all of them mine, would say, hey, Miss Sis, is today a good day or a bad day? When I said it was a good day, I would get a high five. On the days I answered, it's not such a good day, they said, tomorrow will be better. I was surrounded by support and considered myself lucky to be part of this family. One more physical hurdle to overcome was the loss of my hair. I must tell you, I had a great head of hair. Long and thick, but in an instant, I went from long hair to short hair to shaved hair to no hair at all. In a show of solidarity, 9 wonderful people, including my husband, son, brother, and nephew, shaved their heads. A few weeks after I shaved my head, one student had beautiful long hair, came into class, and I said, Julie, you cut your hair. And she said, yes, I did. I did it for you, because of you, and donated it to Locks of Love. I was speechless. And if you know me, that doesn't happen very often. It seemed no matter where I turned, I was surrounded by excellence. St. Patrick's Day holds a special tradition at HP. Dan Gregory, in full Irish ceremonial dress, plays his bagpipes at passing time. I mentioned to Dan that I was looking forward to his playing this year. Unfortunately, I was absent that day. Sitting at my kitchen table, I thought I heard something outside. Our neighbors were having an addition built, so I dismissed the sounds. You know, bagpipes and compressors sort of sound alike. The doorbell rang, and when I opened it, there was Dan playing the bagpipes. I sat in a chair and enjoyed my own private concert. He did this because he is an excellent human being, and I will be forever grateful for the music and his friendship. All I needed now was to make it through April, and I almost did. But my white blood cells refused to cooperate. They decided to take a vacation from my body and left me defenseless. That was a scary time. But my team of doctors and nurses never gave up, and neither did I. I endured too many tests and procedures to recount, so I won't. But I do want to thank everyone who is a blood donor. You are unsung heroes and lifesavers. I needed a transfusion, and because of you, I got the blood I needed. Another lifesaver were the daily packets of Get Well cards from all my classes. Thank you, Andrea, for keeping everyone posted on my progress and for organizing that effort. They basically said they couldn't wait for me to get back, and I couldn't wait to take my place in front of the classroom again. The day I returned, I was talking to some students in class, and from the hallway, another student heard my voice and shouted, "That is the sweetest sound ever." He came in with a huge smile, but his smile couldn't match mine. The day was filled with hugs, more smiles, and people who stopped by to welcome me back. That was definitely an up day, but it was quickly followed by a down one when I discovered that a former student was diagnosed with bone cancer. How could this happen to someone so young and vibrant? Why? I didn't have the answers, but I could help. It was my turn to give back. Matt needed me. We now had